Boxy, what are you doing here?
I really like spending time with you, Ren.
I don't know if you guys heard, but there was some sort of coronation for King Charles III this weekend. I didn't watch it. I was busy rewatching Elsa's coronation, but our royal correspondent Princess Anne somehow got tickets. So let's hear what she has to say.
Well, hello. I'm having my tea. You can get yourself one. I'm feeling very relaxed and cheery this week for a change. The coronation is over. Finally. What a bore. Everyone else is recapping my brother's coronation, but I don't want to do that. His head is already so big, his ego has nowhere else to go but his fingers. So this week, I thought Auntie Anne would entertain you with a little hobby of mine, coronation storytelling. Once upon a time, little Edward VI, the poor thing, he couldn't keep his eyes off the juggler, completely threw off the entire ceremony. I mean, he was only 9 years old. Or still probably did a better job than Charles will. Next was Elizabeth I. She just got up and walked out of her coronation halfway through, just so she didn't have to sit through the mass. I can see where she's coming from, to be honest. But King George IV's coronation is where it really gets juicy. He pulled a very respectable power move. He actually locked his own wife out of his coronation, and she got turned away at the door of Westminster Abbey because she didn't have a ticket. But she didn't give up there. She tried to sneak her way in the side door. I mean, she failed, but she spent the entire ceremony banging on the doors of Westminster Abbey and shouting, "I am the Queen of England." What a woman. She did not go down without a fight. It's a shame she died 3 weeks later. And speaking of iconic women, Queen Victoria's coronation is known in the family as the botched coronation. It was a shambles. A politician fell asleep standing up, a lord fell and rolled down the stairs, and the bishop jammed the ring onto the wrong finger. She had to go into the back room and put her hand in a bowl of freezing water just to get it off. And just another one that confirms the curse, her son Edward's coronation was delayed because his appendix burst the day before. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely week. I know I will.
Princess Anne, 16th in line to the throne and not at all salty. Now time to head over to a local press conference being conducted by police sergeants. You're under arrest.
Thanks for coming to this media conference. Tonight, I would like to question why Australians think that being caught engaging in criminal activity in a foreign country would lead to a better outcome than here in Australia. The Australian government has invested millions of dollars in the correctional system to punish criminals in this country. The least you lot can do is use it. Stop going to Bali to commit your mischief. Instead, do it here so someone like me can have a job. It's very hurtful.
What has led to this drama within the police force?
Well, imagine the shock on my face to hear that Queenslander Bodhi Manny Risby Jones, 23, was allegedly drunk in public and allegedly went streaking and allegedly striking innocent residents of Indonesia in the process. Why couldn't he have done that here? People in Australia are begging to get hit.
Is he the only Aussie who's gotten into trouble overseas recently?
No, not at all. Brenton Craig Abbas Abdullah MacArthur, 47, allegedly spat on a person in a mosque in Indonesia. He could have done that right here in Australia. I would have happily turned a blind eye. Any more questions?
Oh, we're done.
See, even you don't care. I know that I should be keeping people of Victoria safe, but how can I do that when everyone is travelling abroad to wreak havoc? No more questions!
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for that. Time now to tune in to our finance bro, Barry Martin, who's about to launch into his rant of the week.
The radical left have resumed accusations of the AFL being a boys' club after their exhaustive global search for a new CEO ended with a middle-aged white man from the next office taking over. Look, just because they happen to pick a white male CEO for the 13th straight time doesn't mean it's a boys' club. You gotta understand, the majority of their candidates were white men. So they're clearly not a boys' club just for picking one of the boys from a boardroom full of them. Now, we should be discussing how far the AFL has come on diversity. Case in point, they're even letting Tasmania in now. Or in 2028 at least. The mainland's going to need that half decade to get used to the idea.
Well, the federal government has announced it will be cracking down on non-prescription and single-use disposable vapes in Australia, with vaping products only allowed to be sold in pharmacies. Here's Health Minister Mark Butler declaring war on some of the tactics used to lure young vapers.
No more bubblegum flavours, no more pink unicorns on the wrappers.
Sorry, Agnes. Uncle Mark hates ya. But ending recreational vaping in Australia isn't as simple as banning it, especially when big tobacco is involved. So for some insight into the money-making ploys of vaping business, let's get some learned advice from our girl who peaked in high school and now works in a pyramid scheme.
There is literally nothing I love to see more than women thriving in the world of business, making millions off their brilliant ideas. That is until I realised that they're doing better than me. Like, I was scrolling on MySpace earlier today and saw that Kate Wang was earning billions through her vape business. Like, what? So, I've taken inspiration from Kate and decided to start my own vape company by ripping off her business model entirely. Yay! Yes, I've started my own vape company, Vapor's Delight, where you can buy the most premium and high quality flavoured air on the market. These vapes are proven to give you clear skin, long luscious black hair, the most indestructible sense of entitlement, and fashion sense you can only dream of. Well, I use them, and this is what I look like, so I guess it works for me. It's like I've been saying all along, vapes can't be bad for you if millions of people are buying them. I swear there's no such thing as a nicotine addiction. It's like cigarettes. The government would ban them entirely if it was actually bad for your lungs. So do yourself a favour. Invest in yourself, your future, and most importantly, how you look. Trust me, buy my vapes. Please.
Stop! You are under arrest for selling and advertising illegal substances. Come with me, please.
What?
You know why you're here. You are selling and advertising illegal substances to Australians.
I don't get it. It isn't illegal if other people are doing it.
Yes, it is. It has been illegal since 2021. Have you been living under a rock?
No, just my band.
Right, well, we'll check in on the interrogation throughout the show, but for now, we're off to a quick break. Greetings. To avoid any accusations of our show having biased political leanings, here's our free thinker Foxy Sky with some diverse thoughts.
Guess what? The woke mob is at it again. The leftist arts degree hippie American writers started striking last week due to union negotiations falling through. Maybe if you lot had gotten a real degree, like a law degree, your negotiations wouldn't be so shit. The Writers Guild of America is wanting better pay and more consistent work for these useless TV and film writers. I don't see why we'd need more work for them. They hardly do anything useful to begin with. Writing a TV script has got to be the most brain-dead career I could possibly imagine. Why are you, a grown adult, wanting to get paid a living wage for writing unfunny jokes and creating imbecile characters to project your fantasies onto? All this fuss over these dim-witted writers, and for what? No more nightly Jimmy Fallon episodes? Pete Davidson doesn't get to host Saturday Night Live? If you want us to feel sorry for you, maybe don't let us see how much better things are the second that you're gone. I've got a solution for you snowflakes. Instead of going on strike for better working conditions and saving the future of the industry, maybe get a real job. Even an ABC journalist deserves more respect than these insolent writers. Who cares if you don't get appropriate residuals from streaming services? Maybe if you actually contributed to society, you could have residual respect. I hope this strike continues until all these so-called writers go broke and actually start doing something with their lives. Writers have nothing to do but... Wait. Why is there nothing on the auto cue? Where's the rest of the script? These snowflakes have walked out of this show now? Our writers aren't even getting paid. How are you going to strike over nothing, huh? Well, checkmate, Writers Guild. I'll do this by myself. And this is what I think of your precious scripts.
Let's just leave that there before things go up in flames. Let's switch now from anger to pure jubilation with our bringer of joy, Thursday Eve.
didactic miscreants, I bring good news. After what feels like an eternity, our leaders are finally instating some population control. It seems I finally got my letters that we can't keep letting the pillocks and hobgoblins run rampant, as I recently happened upon an early viewing of the revisioned Hunger Games. The government is hiding these plans to placate the general public, using the codename Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, as to not incite riots into weak-minded simpletons who do not understand what a blessing this would be to society. But this is more distinct from those renditions, as this one seems much more barbaric, grueling and cruel, an exceptional foundation for future installments. I procured the manual as this is intended to play out, and without giving credit to the government, I anticipate the day in which this is available for our viewing pleasure. I, for one, yearn for the days our governments put children in zoos while they await a death match, which will only result in unforeseen horrors beyond our comprehension. I would volunteer myself into these games, but I do not see that being fair or necessary. I'll hunt children for sport of my own volition.
What a caring soul. Well, from one person who revels in the misery of children to another, here's Karen Kvetch from Neighbourhood Watch.
This week, I am absolutely overjoyed because job seeker rates have been increased for over 55s. And I am equally excited because it seems the younger generation may not be as inept as I initially suspected. The children that work at Muffin Break in Southland have been working very diligently, and I, for one, am thoroughly impressed. Their employer may be facing court over child labour charges, but to be frank, I see no issue with this. It is best that these little kiddies learn about our corrupt world sooner rather than later. Wage Inspectorate Victoria has accused the franchisee of hiring underage children, but they should have known what they were getting themselves into working at Muffin Break. I mean, the clue is in the name. Muffin Break ensures customers have endless breaks, meaning employers can take no breaks whatsoever. These children deserve the treatment they have received, just like me and my fellow seniors deserved higher job seeker payments. The behaviour of the government and Muffin Break Southland this week is absolutely acceptable, and I will happily tolerate it. Anywho, time for a muffin break. Not for the kids, of course.
Karen Kvetch. Happy for a change. Well, let's now check in on how the vaping interrogation is progressing.
Do you confess to selling single-use disposable vapes?
Well, yeah, that's how you make the money, hun. Why are you targeting me though, lol? You can literally buy these everywhere.
What? Where? Give me names! Where are these criminal hubs located?
Okay, so there's Vaporoo, Vapooroom, Blow and Smoke, Smoke Dreams, Shake and Bake, Vape Juicers,
What? I'm a cop, not a miracle worker.
Law enforcement 101. Right, well, we're off to a quick break. Salutations. Well, Ed Sheeran's recent court battle has been resolved after he was found not to have plagiarised a Marvin Gaye song from 50 years ago in his 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud. The singer heralded the decision as one that will help protect the creative process for songwriters. The matter was personal for Ed, who boldly announced while the trial was in progress he would quit music if he were to lose the copyright case. For the sake of all retail workers, it maybe wouldn't have been the worst thing if he was found guilty. Moving on, and Alan Joyce has announced his resignation as Qantas CEO, with the businessman set to retire in November. So let's head down to our reporter on the streets to see what people think about his replacement, Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep, didn't quite hear the end of that, Ren, but thank you very much. I think I've got it. Vanessa Hudgens is the new CEO of Qantas. Let's head to the public and see what they have to say about this High School Musical star's CEO status. The new Qantas CEO is Vanessa Hudgens, High School Musical star. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I believe that or not.
She's pretty good looking, I'd say.
And that's what's important when it comes to a CEO of Qantas.
It helps. That sounds absolutely great. She's a queen. Qantas.
The airline.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen High School Musical?
No.
Do you think Ashley Tisdale would have been a better fit?
Yeah, I think she might have been a better fit. Yeah, 100%. But Yeah, I don't know how much I believe that or not.
Sass, we're not done yet.
Okay, let's go. It's been announced that the new CEO of Qantas is Vanessa Hudgens, High School Musical star. What do you think of that?
Wow. Interesting.
I don't know why no one's believing us. Like, this is what Ren said the facts are.
Complete shock. Is she even qualified? What qualifications
Well,
does
she must
have?
be. She's the new CEO of Qantas.
Do you know what qualifications she has?
No.
Vanessa.
She's the thing, High School Musical.
Oh.
Actress.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
And?
New CEO of Qantas.
Oh. It's pretty good.
Do you reckon she'll be a good CEO? Yeah.
That's all I know about her. She's good looking. That's genuinely all I know about her.
I stand corrected. Vanessa Hudgens, CEO of Qantas. Now let's check in on everything Met Gala with our fashion nun.
Sisters, we have a problem. Last week, the 2023 Met Gala was held, with the Devil in Prada herself, Sister Anna Wintour, approving the theme Karl Lagerfeld, a line of beauty, honouring the fat-phobic, Syrian refugee hater, Me Too critic, overall woman hater, and most controversial of all, sweatpant hater, and occasional fashion designer, who passed in 2019. Because that's exactly what the fashion industry needs. More men with opinions. And don't even get me started on the Colgate red carpet. I get more inspired by watching Antiques Roadshow. Every year, the girls and the gays dress to the nines, even going as far as coordinating matching vapes for their marvellous fits. You might be wondering, what about the men? What about the men? That exactly is where our problem lies. Year after year, event after event, the men of Hollywood show up in disgustingly average outfits. A simple black suit. You might argue, well, Jared Leto didn't wear a suit. Mr. Leto, dressed up as a furry. And quite honestly, how in God's name is that fashion? I don't care that it's meant to be Karl Lagerfeld's iconic cat, Choupette. This is the Met Gala, not a child's birthday party. Yes, it seems the latest trend for Hollywood is the girls and the gays putting in 110% and receiving scathing criticism, whilst men barely put in 10% and are praised. Well, not on my watch. Phoebe Bridgers, Billie Eilish, Lil Nas X, and many more didn't have me thinking the second coming of Christ was occurring just for men like Nick Jonas and Jack Harlow to receive all the praise. As much as I love the man, Pedro Pascal shan't be praised for showing up in some slutty chino shorts, showing off his calves like some desperate whore. The men of Hollywood need to learn. Thou shan't dress like a basic bitch for the Met Gala. And until that is understood, no more men at the Met Gala. With those free invites available, why don't you redirect them, Sister Anna, to someone more worthy of one? Someone like, I don't know, me.
Shame you weren't on the toothpaste carpet, Sister Versace Runway. Well, let's now check back in on the vaping interrogation.
Look, vaping is a problem, a big problem, but we've known this for a while. What's that smell?
Oh, it's cotton candy.
Where's it from?
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked, because it's from my new business, Vapor's Delight, where I sell the most premium and high quality flavoured air on the market.
Bad luck. Anyway, time now to spill the tea on the latest international affair.
Oh my god, everything is so messy and scary. Why? What's wrong, honey? South Korea, North Korea, and the US. So much drama. So much drama? Apparently, North Korea's new solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile freaked the citizens in South Korea out. So out that they're out of space. Oh wow, scandalous. I know, but South Korea also has something else on his mind. Really? What? The President Yoon Suk-yeol recently confessed his love during a glamorous dinner with US President Joe Biden at the White House in a really romantic way. What? How romantic are we talking about here? Like how Tay-Tay sings, New Romantics, baby. Really? Well, not Miss Americana, but Miss American Pie.
I really felt my chains, that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while.
That is so adorable. I know, right? It's Yoon's favorite song, and he sang his heart out. And Biden, oh my, did you see his eyes? He was so dazzled by it. He even gave Yoon a guitar with Don McLean's signature on it. Oh, that's the cutest thing. I mean, it's true love, right? True love indeed.
How romantic. Well, over to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who was in London last week for the coronation of King Charles and had a few days beforehand to immerse himself in the finest Britain has to offer. So naturally, Albo spared an hour for an interview with Piers Morgan, a man known as an accomplished broadcaster, a right-wing provocateur, and someone who also happens to be chief of the Meghan Markle hate club. And when Morgan asked Albo a question about Prince Harry, well, things got awkward.
I spoke to Harry very briefly at his mother's funeral.
His grandmother.
His grandmother, sorry.
Hey, you know you've stuffed up when you're getting fact-checked by Piers Morgan. But this isn't the only questionable company our PM has been keeping of late. So for more on Albo's controversial comrades, let's cross to someone who knows all about hanging out with the wrong crowd, our local hot mess.
Guys, you want to know one thing about me? I love to party. There's nothing better than letting your hair down and getting loose. Nothing. It's part of a healthy work-life balance. And you know who's been letting his hair down recently? Well, what's left of it? Albo! That guy's been partying the house down and being like the Prime Minister of the whole country. Last week, he rocked up to Carl Sandilands' $1 million wedding, and while he didn't bring the house down with his DJ set, he was still able to boogie in some delightful company, hanging around a convicted drug smuggler and former brothel manager and underworld kingpin, and not to mention shock jock Kyle himself. And it was only a week before last that he attended a different party, Lindsay Fox's 86th birthday. Apparently, the diverse guest list was made up exclusively by billionaire men. Where was my hot invite, honey? But the guy's been copping it for his partying antics lately. You know, people claiming he shouldn't be taking time off or attending millionaire weddings and birthdays while he's in charge of the country or whatever. Well, you want to know my hot take? I could never be PM. Not because I'm, you know, not smart enough or hot enough. I mean, let's be honest, the bar is pretty low in both those departments, but I couldn't be PM because I like to party too much. It's clear to me that, you know, to be in politics, you have to be boring and no fun, or else you get told off for dancing like that Finnish Queen Sanna Marin. Whatever happened to the Bob Hawke PM days, huh? The days when sculling beers and breaking records for sculling beers was okay. Anyway, I can appreciate that Albo is trying out a healthy work-life balance, but between you and me, the guy could find some better friends. Albo, if you're watching, which of course you are, I'm at Revs on Saturday, and to be honest, that joint could always do with a better DJ. See you then.
Thanks, love. Well, speaking of the Prime Minister, we've got him with us live now. Good evening, Mr. Albanese.
Good to be with you.
Now, you've been out of the country recently, so just wanted to catch you up on some Aussie news you may have missed. Did you hear that Vanessa Hudgens will be the next CEO of Qantas?
It took my breath away. It was an extraordinary moment.
Were you at all involved in the selection process?
I chose her, put her forward. I thought that was a really appropriate thing to do.
Could you say a few words about why the iconic High School Musical actor was chosen as CEO of Qantas?
Her leadership and her capacity, her strength was quite remarkable.
On a more personal note, are you ever worried that people may take your comments out of context and misconstrue them?
Sometimes people will say something to me about an answer that in an interview like this, without people having seen the question or what was said before or afterwards, and make it look like something that it isn't.
Who would dare do such a thing? The nerve of some people, honestly. The struggle. It's real.